Due to popular demand, we have another unhinged open mat commentary. Starting off, we throw the gi tops away because the gi is stupid. As we start, the child tries to run away from me. I get low and try to hit this little snatchy healing ankle pick where I just lean down and kneel and just grab the heel, but it didn't work. He starts jabbing, and I start thinking about allowing him to grab my neck. Now, the real decision-making process happens here. Do I slam him? Do I carry him into camera frame? Do I slam him? Do I tap? Do I go unconscious? There's many options here. Arm and guillotines are notoriously difficult to escape once they have their legs locked. Thank God he let go. You little shit. Anyway, we end up in close guard. I drive my shoulder into his stomach as I have a tight waist with my arm, and I start extending my body, spiking all my pressure into his solar plex, making him let go of the grip, and we laugh about it. Here I was very, very upset. My ego was straught. So what we did was we pushed his hand and I wedged his arm behind his back to try to pry him up onto his shoulder to do the most untechnical close guard escape of all time. And now I just crawl my way into mount because I'm a man. I'm over 30 years old. I'm allowed to do this. As we get to this high mount position, I have an underhook where I use my shoulder underneath his elbow. He does a big bridge over the side, and I start grapevining. Why the fuck do they call it a grapevine? But I grapevine that inside leg to prevent the bridge and roll. Super high mount, super high S mount, tucking my knee under his head, putting all my weight on him. Look at this. This is just disgusting. But I had to punish him. You can't just grab my neck like that. You can't just embarrass me to start the video off. It's crazy. I go for a little foot sweep, a little dropping arm drag. He hippity hops out of it like a rabbit. As I flash him my butt and I realize it's a child and I probably shouldn't be doing that, we enter into this next sequence. The reason the camera is cutting off my head is because I grew that much taller since the last video. I'll fix the camera angle next time, I promise. As he does the craziest entry into De La Riva I've ever seen in my entire life. I was so dumbfounded here, I didn't even know if I wanted to finish this pass. I start trying to push his feet off and backstep and end up around the corner, and he ends up in this position where he's got one foot leg pressing on my hip, so I don't actually get this initial part of the body lock pass, and he grabs my neck again, this little piece of crap. So I'm not going to let him finish. So look at this. I push the thigh. I wrap a really, really, really tight waist. I drive my forearm into his lower back. Look at how I shimmy it deeper. And I'm turning his knees away from me now. Traditionally, you want to pass to the opposite side of your head. So if I can push both the knees away, look, I can just do this little, either a cartwheel or just like a staple pass like I just did. And then right here, I was going to Von Flu choke him, but he let go. So to punish him, I'm going to use a little big boy strength here and do a head and arm choke from the far side control. Yeah, I'm aware that wasn't very technical. That was just kind of me bullying him. But how could he grab my neck a second time? I go for a little running Osotogari here in Nogi, which is harder to do. A couple fake arm drags, and he chases my back. Here, again, I like to bend over at the waist, and now I'm doing a little switch wrestling attempt, but I didn't lunge far enough so he didn't stumble, but he ends up sliding off the top anyway as I push the bottom heel down, and we start coming back up to look to pass. We start laughing about the attempt, and I end up doing a really lazy knee slice here. I always do this forearm wedge in Nogi, where I use my forearm to wedge people's thigh to help me control and solidify the position. I did this little shallow knee on belly as I walked to north-south, and look, he grabs under his own leg when I wanted to submit the arm, so now I lace up this super sneaky darce. He rolled towards it. Usually when you do north-south chokes, people will turn towards it. As I wrapped his neck, he rolled towards it, and I laced up the darce choke right away. I again fail another arm drag, another trip because I didn't commit. Commitment's always been my issue. I let him enter on this single, and he actually does a good job here, which is a surprising thing for me to say in an unhinged video. And then he tries to grab my fucking neck again. Well, he did a good job because he tripped my foot. Rather than trying to run the pipe on somebody much bigger than him, he just tripped the far foot. And then I have to make this a teaching experience because he didn't finish either of those guillotines. When I lock my guillotines in close guard, I open my knees. My heels go down and I open my knees. You can side crunch if you want, but watch this. Heels down, open the knees quickly, boom. immediately using the power of our legs to finish the guillotine, not just the power of our arms. Because if you fight some big fucker like me that's ultra heavy and you try to just squeeze with your arms, it's hard to finish. But right here, there he did it. Heels down, knees open to finish that. I believe Corey Brown was the guy that I got that detail from. Such a strong guillotine finish. And now here we're starting again with another person, and this guy wrestles. So I'm shitting my pants right now. As he gets me in this front headlock position, I've been allowing people to guillotine me so I can work my defense. I take my arm on this sit out. I do this all the time. I do like a lazy sit out and I force half guard. Lazy sit out and I rake the leg and then I immediately build to my knees and I wrestle from there. It's a good way to force yourself into a attack. As I walk around the corner here with this really, really tight waist, I'm trying to make everything very tight on this guy. Very strong, good wrestler. Basically no jiu-jitsu, but such a good person to have roles with because he is better than me at stand-up. He punishes me for doing my little stupid dancey dance thing, but then he ends up falling back on an ankle lock, which I'm not worried about because he's new at jiu-jitsu. I clear the foot and I hit a little back step, and I pull on the head here. I should be working to get chest to chest, but I stay up so high he's able to recenter himself because I'm a fucking idiot. I roll through for this like rolling guillotine chin strap position. I try to come back up because I didn't have the submission. So now we're trying to recenter ourselves here in side control. And now I have that shallow knee on belly, that really low knee on belly. And then I pummel the foot over because I see his hand is up high. I do this to everyone in nogi. I take a heavy crossface, and then I either dig my arm and my shoulder. Look at that shoulder pressure on the elbow. Whoa, that's crazy, bro. I use that shoulder pressure on that elbow to force their arm overhead. And then once it's there, I can go for arm bars, head and arm chokes, a smother choke like I went for a second right there. And then I realized this is child friendly, so I shouldn't smother people with my titties. I lock up this Americana and I start prying on it, knowing I'm not going to win it, so I can swing on this arm bar. I force my heel over the far shoulder, and you can catch this quick Americana for that position and that submission. But I like to do that Americana from mount, where I go for the Americana, and as I'm ripping on it, I know they're going to defend it properly, and I swing on the arm bar. It's an easy, lazy setup. And this is a cool sequence right here. I have a 2-on-1, and we end up in the over-under position, and then we do this. Boom. So sexy. I'm going to show this again. So we're in the over-under. I catch his wrist, I grab his tricep for the arm drag, and I drop and I kick his heel at the same time. Or I heel kick his ankle. Boom. Beautiful. The only time I show things 2 times in videos is when I do something cool, not other people. So beautiful. That's my only good trick, only good takedown in nogi is that arm drag, and I trip the far ankle. It looks clean, Marcelo Garcia style. It's my adaptation. We keep going here, and we're in reverse mount for no fucking reason, but he lets me get this deep crossface over his head here, and then he doesn't let me get my far leg out. This is such a wonky position. I don't think I've ever been here before, but you know what they say when you get with high school wrestlers. I don't know what they say, but we end up in this head and arm choke, and if I was a man, I would just squeeze on that arm in guillotine, or arm in rear naked choke, that Darce variation, but I'm not, so I didn't squeeze on it. Here, I'm trying to push on his shoulder with my hand to get my heel over and grab my ankle. I should have forced a triangle there, but I don't know why. Somehow he overpowered me, which is crazy because I'm way fucking bigger than him, but he did. And I'm building up to my head here, using my head and my chest, forehead on the mat to try to build up high. And we end up getting up to this turtle position where I go for basically an arm bar, again finding my heel over the shoulder. Now I've got to punish him. I already Americana'd him, now I got to do new, so I'm doing a figure 4 wrist lock on him, and it doesn't work, so I take my other hand out and I just start hipping into this wrist lock, which is crazy. There's a lot better options than that, but I'm a black belt and he's not, so we do those. Again, I'm kind of hanging low, allowing people to fuck with my neck because I'm trying to practice. I talked about this in one of my older videos, talking about practicing stuff. He does this really cool Uchimata attempt into a fireman's, but he ends up slipping in the middle of it, so I have to punish him because he slipped and roll on this Darce choke. As he comes to turtle, I roll all the way to my back. Right here, if he flared his elbows out and didn't allow me to roll all the way through, he would have stopped that, but he didn't, and we talk about it afterwards. Yeah, we talk about that right there. Well, guys, if you guys like this video content, let me know in the comments. If you have any other suggestions, also put them in the comments. As always, till next time, let's get it.